Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Speed Tour from COTA. It's a beautiful day, although it's a little bit overcast at the moment, but we're expecting mid-80s as we get ready for one of the biggest days of racing in the Speed Tour. We started all off with JS F4 and the actual F4 Championship. Now, JS stands for the juniors, and yesterday we got a little bit of history. Teddy Musella not only won the first race of the season, but he's capped it off with the championship yesterday with one race to go. So, visor is down, he's ready to go. He's got his big opponent, Keke Hiwanio, and now the real pride is about winning that last race. You're only as good as your last race. Now, when you see the podiums, you see these little trophies that they get, and they swap hats, and it all looks fun. But there's a serious side to this. This young man won $186,000 towards next year of getting into F4, and that's the whole game here. It's all about progressing up the ladder towards Formula One, and they're very close. F4 is the starting point. Here is Perth, Australia's Nicholas Stati. He's leading the championship at the moment, and Nicholas, you told me earlier, what are you going to do? What's the plan today?
The plan is to try and finish the tie off as well as taking as least risk as possible.
It's a good point. You watched Formula One a few weeks ago. You can see how it can all go wrong at 12 and at turn 1.
Yeah, it can all go wrong, but we've got to stay calm and keep focused on what we need to do.
All right, will you channel your inner Oscar Piastri? The man he's up against is this man, Daniel Quimby, and as he says, Daniel, he's just got to stay behind him. Daniel, you've got a fan in there, but you've got a lot of fans outside. How do you feel? What's your plan?
Yeah, I just got to try keep Mick behind me, obviously. Just do my best and we'll see what happens.
Well, listen, best of luck. I don't want to get in your way. Best of luck for the last race. Now, the interesting part is that's for the championship. But how about this guy? This guy's won. He could be the spoiler today. He's won both races so far. Alex, what a weekend. Can we go for 3?
Yeah, I'm just so happy to be here at COTA with MLT. I mean, it's been incredible so far. Pole and quali. First in race 1, first in race 2. Let's try to make it 3.
Well, listen, we all know about your dad's exploits here in America. Are you following his footsteps?
Hopefully, that's the plan. Obviously, the goal is always to try to make it an open wheel. But, I mean, I'm happy racing wherever I can. If I can make it to prototypes like he did, I'll be more than happy and happy with what we've done.
Well, we're delighted to have you on board. Go for 3, my friend. So, 3 in a row, that's what he's looking for. And I mentioned his dad. His dad's a famous IMSA driver as well, by the same name. Finally, I just want to mention Alex Crosby, racing from New Zealand. So think about this. Perth, Australia, Invercargill, New Zealand. They're coming in from all over the world to take part in this championship, which is quickly becoming one of the most prestigious in the world. It's F4, brought to you by the Speed Tour, all owned by Pirella Holdings, and things are moving fast. We are finding Formula One stars and Indy stars of the future. Who's the next one? We're about to find out.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Unbelievable. I love watching Jonathan Green and his grid walks. And something that he mentioned is yes, this is the F4 U.S. Championship, or the Formula Regional Americas. But because North America has such fantastic tracks, a lot of these drivers that want to move up the ladder into F1 will come and race from America, from South America, from Europe. And then I'm joined in the booth by our FR champion, Patrick Woods-Toth from Canada. And Patrick, I know that you were an F4 champion last year, here crowned at Circuit of the Americas. Then this year at CTMP, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, on Fellows and his kind of home track. And speak to the international feel of this, because you wouldn't think a U.S. championship would have so many international drivers.
Yeah, I mean, F4 is popular all around the world. It's a FIA series, as well as FR and F3. So, we get some good competition from all around the world. Everyone's trying to compete for a trophy, and no better place to do it than in the U.S.
Yeah, and the tracks, the schedule that we have, the circuits that we race are just some world-famous circuits. Like, Formula One was here just, 12, 13 days ago. So, of course, everybody wants to show up here and have a good race weekend. But the F4 champion, you were just telling me, you follow this, that there's two drivers that are within just a certain amount of points from each other. Explain to the crowd what that means.
Yeah, I mean, Stati and Quimby have been racing all year together, hard battles. I mean, they've had some nice races, and the fight has come to the last race. I think it's 3 or 4 points that separates them today. So the best man is the one who crosses the line in front of the other today. So I think we're going to have an interesting race, but I know their stress has got to be pretty high. I mean, a lot of tension, a lot of build up to this. I hope they have a nice, clean race.
So it's going to be kind of weird, because Alex Popov has really kind of dominated this weekend, his first weekend here. But all eyes are on these two gentlemen here in frame, Stati and Quimby, because they're running for the championship. They've been with us all weekend long. So even in this one group of F4, it's almost a race within a race.
Yeah,
because they're racing each other. No matter, it really doesn't matter what happens to Alex up front. If he runs up front like he has all weekend, or if they're fighting for him. So this should be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'm focused on those two. I mean, best luck to Alex. He's been doing a great job in his first weekend. It's really impressive. It's not an easy car, easy track, but we got to see those two, see what happens.
And then we go out, and there's the Ligier JS F4, which is the car that you won the championship in last year with the Honda K20 engines developed by Montoon. We're so excited to have those here. Those cars, they're very competitive. I have noticed a difference. The new F4 cars are quicker, but it's almost like the FR cars where there's a lot of aero, and the races just don't seem to be as close like they are in the old F4. The old F4, to me, coming from vintage racing, looks like Formula Fords out there. You guys can race wheel to wheel, get right behind them in the draft, and pass. And I haven't seen that yet in the new F4s.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit more difficult in the new car. I think the old car was really, really good to drive. The draft was huge. But I think the new car has potential as well. We just need a couple more guys out there to get the racing going. It's a bit tough when you only have 4 or 5 guys really racing hard at the front to make a good battle. But yeah, I think we'll also see a great race in the old F4 car. These guys, I mean, they were racing hard all weekend. I saw some videos and I was watching live, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, so we are going to do a split start. So there's almost like 4 different races going on there. I love that you can see them coming out. Now, we can talk about tire strategy because this is the last race, and it all kind of went out the window because the weather forecasts were calling for rain for one of these races. So I think a lot of people went out and now have to change their strategy. I'm not seeing anybody yet going out on what I consider brand new tires, right? So these are probably yesterday's race tires because you're allowed 2 sets of tires for 3 35 to 30-minute races, and everything can change. Now we're seeing the Ligier JS F4 cars coming up, and I'm still seeing everybody on, looks like yesterday's tires. And it's a pretty green track today. We're in the new paved area. You can see him kind of going back and forth trying to get heat in the tires. So what would you be telling yourself last year when you're coming into this race in the F4 Series championship on the line? What are you telling yourself on these warm-up laps?
It's super important to get a good start. I mean, these races are decided often in the first few quarters, so you need to get good temperature in the tires and the brakes, as per usual. But yeah, you need to have a clean first lap, and then from there it should be pretty smooth sailing for most people.
The race to the turn 1 after the green flag at Circuit of the Americas is like no track that we go to. It goes up with these cars, it's 6 to 8 lanes wide to the entry of 1. As soon as you go by the apex, it's down to 3 lanes wide, and we see a lot of people go off. We saw it in the Formula One race here just a couple days ago that people get pushed off into turn 1. Jonathan Green is joining us in the booth. This is his home track, and Patrick, I know he's got a lot of good questions for you. I'm going to step away. It's great to talk to you, champ. I know that a few years from now, Jonathan, we're going to be bragging that we had Patrick Woods-Toth in the booth with us, and what a great kid he is, and a true champion.
Yeah, and
Ron Fellow's the nicest guy in motorsports, and Patrick Woods-Toth is following in the footsteps.
And then at the 500, while he's drinking the milk, I'll say, "Hey, Patrick," and he'll say, "No, I haven't got time now." No, they always remember you on the way up. It's good. Patrick, great to have you on board. First and foremost, congratulations on the championship.
Yes, thank you very much.
7 wins.
Yes, we had a great 2 seasons, 2 in a row. It's been an amazing journey.
Yeah, I bet. And let me just ask you, what would you, I mean, there's so many young kids out there that, you must be smiling really to think that, you were there, you've been there, you've done that, and now you've got the T-shirt, so to speak. What would be the biggest piece of advice you would give a Nicholas Stati or, one of these guys coming through, or Teddy Musella, in terms of, doing what you've done, which is to break through and win the FR Championship?
It might sound simple, but you got to use your brain. You really got to. Yeah. It's so important to be thinking on your feet. It sounds a lot easier than it is, but that's most sports, and especially racing, is it's a huge mental game, and it's not always easy. Far from it, actually. So you got to keep pushing, stay smart, stay out of trouble, and just fly under the radar. Actually, has been my key for the last 2 years. Not too many interesting races, just trying to finish the job, and that's it, get some points.
Well, clearly you go better when I'm not around. That pesky journalist that was in your face all through New Zealand, and then he disappeared, and then you started winning more and more and more. So I guess it's me just in your way. That's it.
No, we had a great time in New Zealand.
We certainly did. So we're about to get ready for the start of this one. And as you can see, tightly packed together as they should be. This is exactly what Scott Goodyear wants. We're watching the 41 and the 55 coming up the hill. Alex Crosby leading the way for Inge Cargill. Raced against Patrick Woods-Toth in New Zealand, and he leads them through the first turn. Nice and smooth through there, and that's a good start from all of the participants. Here comes your second crew. That's the JS F4 team. 18 cars in all. And as you can see, nice tight start with them too. Keke Hiwanio determined to beat Teddy Musella today in what should be a really interesting race, because it was close yesterday. We had some wheel-to-wheel stuff. And Patrick, what do you like or dislike about the Circuit of the Americas? Is it a tough place to race?
I think it's a pretty awesome track. Considering it's an F1 track, that's a huge deal for most of us. We all watch F1, and we all dream of being there one day. So, watching it and being able to drive it is pretty awesome. But also the layout itself, you have a lot of flow. It's a bit long for my liking. Over 2 minutes sometimes. Yeah. It makes it quite difficult. One mistake can ruin way too much time in qualifying or in the race. So you need to be careful about that.
Crosby leads, as you can see. Alex Popov, who's won both races, is in second place. Here come the juniors. You'll tell the difference between the cars, obviously, with the halo. That's the most obvious thing. But the F4 car is a little bit bigger. Now, I presume this is the car that you drove back in F4 yet?
Yes.
Have you driven the newer F4?
I have not yet.
What's your feedback? What have you heard about it?
I've heard it's a really nice car. It's they took a lot of ideas from the newer F4 and newer F3 cars. So I've heard good things.
Well, you're listening to Patrick Woods-Toth, who is the Canadian who won the championship and is on for bigger and better. We may talk about that if we get a safety car, but of course it's just the end of the season, so everybody's jostling for position in terms of where they're going to be next year and what they're going to do. But we've had a huge history, and Patrick continues it, of people like Kyle Kirkwood and Dakota Dickerson, Hunter Yaney, so many more have come through, both F4 and F4. Josh Day from Australia, I'm thinking of Nicholas Stati. We've had some great Aussies come through in the time. And Patrick, what impresses me, I mean, Canada's not too far afield, but to have so many international drivers, here's Crosby, who you've raced before, but that's got to be good for Americans and Canadians, too, to see where they fit in an international field.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's not easy for someone like Crosby. I went to New Zealand, and I think I was traveling for 2 days, so for him to do that every single race, I mean, it's
unbelievable.
He's committed, and that's, he loves the sport, and he's trying to make it in racing, so...
And just so people know, yes, they know maybe they've heard of New Zealand, but Invercargill, where he's from, and we've both been there, is the southernmost tip of the southern island. Look out from Invercargill, and all you can see down the road is the Antarctic. So that's how far he's come to be leading this race. So it means a lot to be here, and this championship is getting more and more prestigious every weekend. Patrick, I got a question for you. You've got a half-hour race. How does the car change, and does that mean you change your driving as the race goes on, or is it just hell-bent for leather?
Yeah, I think the car changes a decent amount, especially on a new surface like this. I mean, sometimes you keep getting faster and faster. Sometimes the tires get destroyed after 2 laps. I'm not too sure about this track, but almost every track we went to this year was resurfaced, and we had tons of different strategies and everything, trying to save tires or just having no worries at all. So it definitely changes a lot.
Well, JS F4 led by Teddy Musella at the moment. Leonardo Escorpinho is in second place in the 26th. The young Brazilian from Sao Paulo, already been on the podium twice. And then behind him, Drew Such in the JS Series. And here they are coming into turn 12, one of the critical corners here, and one of the places where you would try to make an overtake. But you've got to be in the right position. We saw this in Formula One. Try a pass around the outside. It might work, but it might not. And track limits is also a factor in this. Meanwhile, at the front of the FR race, it's Alex Crosby, Daniel Quimby, and Alex Popov. Now, Stati just needs to finish behind Quimby, and he knows that. But, of course, I said the spoiler might be Alex Popov. Right now, he is being just that. So the championship's on the line. There's only about 3 points between them. But really, it's just a case of Quimby's got to beat Stati at the moment. Stati just needs to finish behind Quimby, and he's got it. This is the final race of the year. Do you remember how you were feeling in Canada? Because you were flying.
Yeah.
But you've got to get nervous. It doesn't matter how many races you've won.
Canada was a great weekend, but the pressure was building. I mean, more and more people every single day at the races. Winning the first race, then the second one. All eyes are on you for the third one. But luckily I was calm, focused, and just did my job, and we have finished off the weekend in the championship well.
Yeah, it doesn't help that you go home and the expectations are there. You come in as the championship leader, and everybody's like, "Wow, he's one of our own,"
Yeah. Being a Canadian was awesome, though. I mean, lots of great fans. I met so many people, so it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, you've had a busy year. Yes. Started off in New Zealand. You've been traveling all around the USA, but were you commuting kind of back and forth, or were you based here?
Well, I live in Montreal, so
okay.
that race was a couple hours away from me, but I grew up there racing go-karts right across the street, so it's like a second home for me.
What are your hopes then? Where would you like to be next year?
I want to stay in single seater, try and move up to some Indy next. Oh, we got a good move.
Nice
Stati
move.
Here.
Stati making a move, and that's what he needs to do in the 55. Alex Popov, he makes that move on him, so he's got away from Alex Popov, but Popov coming back at him, and this is going to be a good battle. Stati doesn't need this right now. He just needs to get ahead of these guys and then go in pursuit of Quimby, and that's exactly what he's doing. And if he can just put some space between those chasing him, it'll settle things down for that last 20-minute hurrah for the end of this one.
He needs this spot on the outside now.
Yeah, I know. He's got. I tell you, this is the worst thing, isn't it? You do. Oh, look at him, right wide there, and sent wide. And this is really going to be. This is where you've got to have a real, like you say, mental approach to this, because this is where the pressure is. They don't care about his championship. They want to just win. And that is what's so good about this. I mean, Alex Popov just came into the championship this weekend. He's run 1-2. Here comes Connor Roberts. He's up for it too. He's had some great consistency of podiums, but is, I think, only got one win. So all of them, everywhere. That's a motor racing, mantra, isn't it? You want to finish any season you're in. No matter whether you finish 18th or you're the champion, you want to finish on a high. You're only as good as your last race. That's what people remember, right?
Even to yourself, that's all you're going to remember too. I mean, your mind's an interesting thing, and it's super important to have confidence. So, this last race for all these guys is really important.
Do you do mental sort of agility, if that's the right word, but do you work on your mental approach to it?
Yeah, I mean, there's no real way to train it except for being in a race car, being in high stress situations. But just got to constantly remind yourself to stay calm and just do your job. I
think that's a point I talked to Landon Matriano Lim yesterday about just that ability to have the heart rate where it is, the adrenaline flowing, the excitement, the noise, everything else. I mean, it's fight or flight, but you've got to stay calm in that situation. And also, with the championship on the line in terms of Stati, you can't be thinking about that. Because the minute you start thinking about that and not Connor Roberts coming up the inside, that was... Stati's risking it all here. He doesn't really want this fight. Roberts is going to try to get through and locks up. If Stati gets hit here, he is going to be out of this race and potentially lose the championship. He does not want to fight with Roberts, who he's been fighting with all season long. Connor Roberts doing a great job. Stati doing everything he can to hold on here.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Stati. He needs to get away from these two.
Yeah, it's the worst possible scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, this is not good. But he's playing it smart and doing what he needs to do.
Yep, he got sent wide last time, but he's managed to gather it all in this time. There's Crosby, here's your leader, there's Quimby, and there's Stati. Now, if Stati stays where he is over the next 20 minutes, no mean feat, he's got it. But, as you can see, he's got two hungry cars behind him, all wanting to be in his position or at least get on the podium. And right now, he has that podium position. But as you can see, the 46, made famous by Valentino Rossi, is now with Connor Roberts. And Roberts has definitely got his tail up in the last round. He's coming off 5 consecutive podiums at the moment. And going back to Teddy Musella, what a season it was to go to the championship. 5 wins, 10 podiums in 13 races. And he was on the podium at every track. And I would have said, would that be true of you too? Did you miss out at all?
I don't think so. I think we had a podium at every track last year. We almost had a win at every track. That was what we were missing.
There's also a bit of luck in any championship. Did you have any mechanicals? Did you have any things that could go wrong? Because that's how you control.
Yeah, we had one mechanical failure at the start of the year at Road America, which really, and that just shows your momentum and your confidence. Race 2 we had suspension fail, and then race 3 I made a slight mistake because I was just pushing too hard, trying to get back what we lost in race 2. And yeah, that was our 2 worst races of the year. After that, we just put our head down and focused again.
So once again, Roberts makes a move to try to get up the inside of Stati, and Stati's just got to let it go, really. But he can't, because if he does, and now he's got the 55 as well, this is getting really interesting. I feel for him out there. This is not easy. Alex Popov has proven that he's capable of winning, and Stati knows it. They've both watched him lead the way for the last 2 races here this weekend. So Stati's got to build again, and 18 minutes to go. And when this happens, and you know what the prize is, which is right now Connor Roberts, do you start making a mental plan of where you're going to attack?
Yeah, that's all he's thinking about. He's not worried about the guys up front. He's just trying to keep Roberts and Popov behind, because that's all that matters. So.
Back to the JS F4, and that's Dimitri Nolan in the number 5. Back with F4, and there you see it. Roberts, Stati, and Popov. I mentioned Invercargill was a long way. Here comes Popov again. And so too is Perth, Australia. That's an eon away. That's even further away than Invercargill in many ways. It's right at the western part of Australia, so about as far away from here as you possibly could be to go racing. Tense moments in the pits. More great racing. Look at this. Teddy Musella under big pressure here from, is that, hey guy, yeah it is, isn't it? Kekai. So these two have fought all through the season, and were it not for an incident yesterday, or sorry, on Friday, Thursday, that, God, my days are going wrong. On Friday, where he had to start from the pit lane for the second race, Kekai was still in pursuit of winning the title away from Musella, but Musella's got it. So all that Kekai can do now is try to win the race, and he's certainly odds on right now, putting the pressure on Musella, but the same is true of Teddy. He wants to win as well, given that the championship is his. Where are the best places to overtake in these smaller cars? Formula One might be a little bit different with less places, right?
I don't remember the turn numbers too well, but this corner that we're going into is a great one, and then at the end of the long back straight.
Yeah, this is turn 11, and this is called the bobby pin, and that wasn't exactly what he did. Nicely done, but he lost impetus there, and he's going to lose out.
I'm not too sure that was worth it now, because we got the long back straight. I don't know who's in third here, but they're going to have a great run.
Yep. And that's the thing. If you go hard like he did and look good, but you lose a lot of impetus, you've got to brake harder. Once you brake harder, then you've got to get back up to speed, and the drive out of that corner, and you're seeing it now.
Yep, there he comes.
It's exactly what you said. Now at 3 wide into 12. And look at that. First to third. Nicely done. So Musella being duffed up a little bit there because he's lost out the worst, and he's at the back of this group now. Lincoln Day, Barrett Wolf. Day just getting ahead for a moment. And this is a great 5-way battle now between these guys for the lead of JS F4.
That's soon to be 6 or 7 as well. We got 2 coming.
Well, Crosby's doing a good job. He is out front. Alex Crosby, former Formula Ford champion from New Zealand. I watched him in New Zealand because their championship is at the same time as the Toyota Racing Series. So a couple of years ago, I saw him come through the ranks, and he had a season like yours where he was there or thereabouts. He pretty much won the entire season and was on the podium almost every weekend.
Really good battle. Oh, got one over the curb. Really good battle here. Yeah,
this
we got
great.
7 in a row right here.
This is awesome. JS F4. This is what we want. Meanwhile, you're missing nothing at the front. Crosby's building on that lead, and it's now 3.5 seconds over Quimby. Connor Roberts third, and the big story is it's Nicholas Stati of Australia has to get going and needs another place. He needs to get past Roberts in less than 15 minutes. Watching on the big screens around the circuit, taking some notes, and now it's kind of like there's not a lot they can do. It's all in the hands of the driver. They can advise from the sidelines, but that's about all. So Drew Such, I think that's how you pronounce it, down in 12th position, but doing the business in JS F4, and I think Escopioni is just ahead, so leading for the JS thing. So this has actually now become the battle for second place. Now we go back to Stati, and he's under pressure again. How do you defend here? Because you know the guy in your mirrors has got the advantage, surely.
Yeah, this is a pretty much impossible battle for Stati. I mean, he's got to try and fight for every point, but yeah, there's not much you can do against Pop-Up. He's so quick this weekend.
Yeah, he's got some experience in US, I think US F Pro or US 2000, I'm not sure, but that's his background. But this is his first weekend here in the FIA F4, so really impressive. Very impressive. Yeah, it's a horrible position to be in. What you really want when you're trying to win the championship is to get the pole and get away. What you don't want to be is embroiled in a battle where you have to overtake, because then the risk factor comes in. You take, you do things that you wouldn't normally do, but you have to, kind of. And Stati, you can see he's under pressure. Now he's lost a place to Pop-Off as well at the exit of 11. Now the long run. Now he needs to tuck himself in behind Pavlov or try to do this drag race. But he's got to kind of pass him before they get to 12, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got Roberts. Roberts is maybe catching Quimby as well. You never know what could happen with 12 minutes left. So he just needs to keep fighting, and we'll see what happens.
Well, this is very similar to Max Verstappen and Lando Norris, but Stati goes wide, doesn't try to go around the outside. And you've made a good point there, which is if he does catch Quimby, that's Roberts we're talking about, just ahead, they might get into a battle, and this might bring this battle closer and give Stati a chance to get both of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Goes high and wide at 15. That's a good move. Get the drive. Tuck yourself in for the triple right-hander under the tower. He's still got the Formula One logos up from the race just a few weeks ago, so that's a nice little reminder of where they're all trying to head. Alex Albon, just another one of the great juniors that came up through the ranks and is now in the dizzy heights of Formula One. Brazilian Grand Prix this weekend.
Roberts is definitely catching Quimby.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, there's enough time where these two battles could come together, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Quimby is missing about half a second on the last 2 laps there, so we should have a good battle here, I'm hoping.
Not missing anything at the moment in JS F4. Leonardo Copini, excuse me. I'll get it right. It's his first weekend, and mine too. Ahead of Kekai Buanio. Teddy Musella's dropped to 3rd and 11th overall. Really impressed with Connor Roberts. He came in and did some commentary. Nice kid. Tall kid, 6'4". That's quite a task to squeeze himself in. I said, what do you want to do? He said, I think sports car racing. I said, that sounds sensible. Because, it's not easy to do single-seaters when you're so tall. But he's managed. And I think he's in the right car for now. And he's caught right up to Quimby now as they exit 11. How much of a slipstream can you get down a long straight like that?
That's a ton. I mean, you're probably over a second behind and you're still getting towed. When you're that close, you're really like probably 5-10 kilometers an hour faster.
Now we've got a replay here. How about this? Now these are the leaders coming through. Oh no! The worst possible scenario. Oh no! Well, that happened while we were looking at F4, but that's just disaster. They just came together at the exit of 12.
Well, you know what, Jonathan? We are going to get a safety car here, so this does spice things up.
Oh, it does.
But we got to hope that we can get restarted in time. We got 10 minutes, so...
I think we should be. I mean, it seems like as Drew Such went round, and then it was Sasha van Padbosch, the young Dutchman who got on the podium yesterday, but was... given a penalty and dropped off that podium, so he was so desperate to get that podium. And yeah, as you say, Patrick, this changes everything, because now we form up behind the safety car.
This is exactly what Stati needs.
Yes,
this is exactly what Quimby was not looking for, but Stati was praying for this. As I said, anything can happen, so let's see what happens here.
But now, so this is your new leader of the F4 Series, and it looks like it's Teddy Musella. So, what? Oh, no, this is Sasha van der Bosch, excuse me. Well, listen, under caution, you're not going to miss anything. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back from the Circuit of the Americas after this.
You've got a business to run, big and heavy products to ship, and customers who need them now. When you've got the right driver and the right equipment, you can bet on a spectacular result. Bennett understands complex logistics and puts the best team, the most time, and the latest technology into every customer relationship. So you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the race. Let us handle the rest.
Together, we can move anything.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Welcome back. There's the lovely little Ginetta car, which is our pace car, and as you can see, the light's still on, so you've missed nothing. Alex Crosby of New Zealand leading the way at the moment. And it was an interesting decision, and I get your opinion on this. This is a much, he's basically, Crosby's gone down a level for the American season, because of course he was racing at FR level in his home of New Zealand, but decided to come to America and do F4. Interesting decision, something you think was a good idea or not?
Yeah, I don't think it was a horrible idea at all. I mean, Crosby came from Formula 1600, what we call Formula Ford, I guess, in New Zealand, and then hopped straight into the FR. Albeit the F4 is not that different from the FR. A little bit less horsepower, a little bit less downforce, but in New Zealand you don't have that option. So I think him coming here and doing it is actually a good idea. And then whatever he plans to do after it's a good step. You don't want to be missing steps when you're trying to learn. And when you're starting in racing.
Especially if you do have the budget and if you do have the time and you're young enough, yeah, absolutely, do all the steps. Crosby currently 4th in the championship. I think we're going green after this. And Crosby with a win in New Jersey, and he's been pretty consistent everywhere he's gone. And now he's just got to get a good restart. Looks like we're going to get one more lap under safety. So tell me the procedure. What will he be doing now?
So the teams will be notified that they're going green here and that the lights are going to go out soon. So it's important to get as much heat again, because after sitting behind the pace car, everything cools down. Yeah. And then it's full focus on the restart zone, which is going to be into the last corner there, right around the apex. So you got to try and get a good launch on these guys. That's your things that you're thinking about.
Do you worry about overheating? Because of course these cars are meant for airflow and to keep everything going.
For sure. If you're on the brakes too much, you can overheat. Yeah, you can overheat the brakes and even the tires if you're scrubbing them too much. So you just got to feel it.
Well, Patrick, we've got a couple of minutes before we go racing again. Let's take another look at that incident and see what you see here as we look at the replay of what really changed the junior F4. It's an interesting incident. Let's have a look at it again. So coming into 12, here we go, the 29, 27. Just a simple, I mean, can you apportion blame?
That's a tough one for sure. KK got in a little bit deep, I'd assume. But honestly, for him to spin another guy out, that's just unlucky. So sometimes that stuff happens.
He's not happy. He's giving the proverbial, what are you doing?
He was not impressed.
So KK Hawanio's day ends, sadly, in the exit of turn 12. And as you can imagine, the other driver involved not particularly impressed with that move, because he could do nothing about it. And it's ruined his race too.
He's a 26. Right? I think he might be right there in about 5th. Oh no, he's a bit further back.
I'm just trying to find him now on the timing board. Yeah, a little bit of debris there, but luckily it's off track. That's right, it's Leonardo. So that's who it is. It's the young Brazilian that was involved. So it's going to be green this time, but it's going to be green and white, Patrick. Now that really does give you the willies, doesn't it? That's the worst.
I mean, Stati's on my team, Costa and Kiwi, so I got to be rooting for him.
Of course.
I think, honestly, I raced against Quimby, and he's a great driver, and he's a great kid as well. So I wish the best luck to both of them. But I just want to see a good battle now. We have one lap, and let's see what happens.
We'll talk about a shootout in Texas like the good old West. I mean, wow, so just explain that again. The lights are off now on the safety car. But as they come to restart, it's going to be white flag, which means it's the last lap. So we have a one-lap dash, and all hell could break loose because these guys are all desperate. And the championship is on the line. Right now, Daniel Quimby could win it if he stays where he is, which is 2nd place behind Crosby. The lights are out now on the safety cars. We come through what I call the McConaughey complex.
I think
16, 17, and 18.
Quimby's got to stop. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking about, but he needs to try and actually win this race, because that's the best way to stay out of trouble, is to stay in the front.
Well, and also he must be thinking cushion. So if I can get ahead of Crosby now, because remember, he was about 4 seconds behind Crosby, so there was no way he could have done that until this situation. They creep around 18, 19, and as soon as they get on the exit of 20, the safety car will pop into the pits. And then the race will be controlled by this man, Alex Crosby. Green flag waves, so does the white. Away we go. Crosby from New Zealand leads the way. Quimby looking for the championship. Stati at the back of this group of 5 cars has got work to do, and he really needs to get the hurry up on. Meanwhile, back with Teddy Musella.
Crosby had a great start there.
Didn't he?
Amazing.
And look how he's pulled away from Quimby, and we said that Quimby needed to pounce, but he hasn't really had the chance to.
No, and now Quimby's under attack from the 3 guys behind.
Well, Stati is literally racing for his entire season here, the man from Perth. And you can see there's some desperate moves being made. So up the hill they go for the last time through turns 8 and 9. And it looked, I was going to say, I just saw it out of the corner. You saw that, didn't you? It was a full course caution again, right?
Yeah, I could have sworn.
Yeah, and I suddenly thought, well, maybe they didn't turn the lights out. But I think actually we've got another caution, so we're going to finish under caution. But we'll soon find out. It is. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, well, I hate to say it, but that's pretty much put paid to that then. And by my calculations, Quimby's got this.
Yeah, Stati's still racing.
Well, Stati's still racing, and he can't. He shouldn't, and he's going to get disqualified if he does. Well, not disqualified, but he's going to get a penalty for overtaking under yellow. Yeah, no, it's full course yellow.
That's an unfortunate end to a great, what I thought was going to be a great battle.
Yeah.
Especially heading into those 2 straights. But.
Well, it's going to be a second victory for the man from Invercargill, New Zealand. And I know a lot of my friends down in New Zealand, like the Leeches, will be watching and cheering him on. It's only a small town, Invercargill. And it's actually famous for the world's fastest Indian. Caution, and that is going to give victory once again to Alex Crosby, his 2nd of the season. Daniel Quimby in 2nd place is going to be on the podium, but more importantly, he's got ahead of Stati, and there was a 3-point gap between them coming in there, and now with Roberts and Popoff between him and Stati, who's going to finish 5th, it's going to push it to Quimby's way. There's the checkered flag then. And well done to Alex Crosby. Delighted for him. That's exactly what he wanted. That's the way you want to finish your season, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, he's been doing great all year, but just getting better and better, and that's a great way to close it out.
Meanwhile, coming across the day now, across the checkered flag now, is the JS F4 Series led by Drew Such. It looks as though it's got the win ahead of Teddy Musella, and Javier Das taking 3rd place. So in the end, lots of drama, more in the JS F4 Series than perhaps at the front of F4. But either way, 3 great races this weekend. Popoff wins 2, and then Crosby wins the other. And Stati, sadly, is not going to be the man for the day. But race winner, the number 41, Alex Crosby. And I'm really interested to see where he goes next. I've got a feeling he might just stay in the States because he's kind of done everything he can in New Zealand. He may come back for a 2nd season of the Toyota Racing Series back at his home. But that's in our winter, their summer. And again, that's a great tune-up for the what we call traditional season ahead. Certainly helped you this season, didn't it?
Yeah, no, that was a huge advantage, I think, going to New Zealand. It's just so much track time and testing, over there against some great drivers. And, it helped me a ton going from the F4 to the FR.
Yeah, I smiled yesterday when the first ever winner with doing the Toyota Racing Series 20 years was Brendan Hartley. And I smiled when he got pole at Bahrain yesterday for the World Endurance Championship because, that's the plan. You'd be quite happy with that in a few years, wouldn't you?
Definitely. that would be awesome.
Great driver. So many great Kiwis. And I wonder if Crosby's following in their footsteps because we've had El Bamba, we've had... Well, Ryan Yardley winning here a few weeks ago, and so they just keep bringing them out. Scott Dixon still leading the way for Ganassi, and we've got some news on Ganassi too later today in the FR Championship, so that's big news, so we'll tell you about that. But what a great race. Sadly, 2 safety cars kind of getting in the way. At one point we thought Stati was odds on to get a restart and get that 1-lap dash. And he did do that, but unfortunately it was foiled at about turn 7 where I just caught that FCY coming out. So then, Well, my thanks to Patrick Woods-Toth for coming in here. Congratulations, young man, again. And best of luck in whatever you choose to do. And I hope you do stay in single-seaters, because the more you can do, the better. But confirmation then of the results for round 14. Alex Crosby for Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport wins ahead of Atlantic Racing's Daniel Quimby. Connor Roberts for Team Roberts Racing is third, and Alex Popoff in MLT Motorsports is fifth. Championship leader at the start of the race was fifth for Crosslink, Seth Gilmore, Barrett Wolf, all with Crosslink, and then Lincoln Day, Sasha van Pad Bosch of the Netherlands, and then Drew Such in 10th position. Well, in they come. And good to see Tony Perella, who always handshakes everybody before they go. I always think that's a nice touch. He just says good luck and be safe and all that sort of stuff. And then he's there at the end, and it really means a lot. And there you see. Well, they were happy with him yesterday. They're even more happy with him now. Well done, Alex Crosby, winner. Give him a cheer. And by the way, you wonder why that interesting colour scheme of purple and gold and white? Those are the colours of the Invercargill County. There you go. So he's representing, as they say.
Yeah,
well done.
It's so cool to see Tony there, congratulating everyone. And
it is.
He goes to the grid, he talks to all the drivers. He's a great guy, and he loves the sport. So
yeah, it's got to give you a good feeling that you're in the right place when the guy who could be sat in a desk, counting his receipts sort of thing, instead is out there actually pumping the fists with the guys that are making it happen. And by the way, let's just have a shout out to Buell Racing. This is their first national title with Teddy Musella. And that's important too. Crosslink Kiwi, great. They've been the most successful team over the last few years, and that, good. But how about this? So Daniel Quimby does it. You know this. The pressure must be just drifting off those shoulders now.
Yeah, huge weight lifted off your shoulders now, especially with that late restart. I mean, he's done for today. Ready to go back to bed. That's job done.
Yeah, back to bed. Well, certainly one man who's not going back to bed is John Phippen. He's about to talk to our man Daniel Quimby. Down to you, John.
Daniel, we talked about it in the pre-race. I ran into you in the media center, and we talked about it. You did what you needed to do. It's unofficial, but congratulations on the championship.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Big weight lifted off my shoulders. Yeah, a bit nervous this morning, but yeah, hopefully everything goes well, and yeah, really good race. I'd like to thank everyone that's come on board this year, Motorhome Republic, Cruise America, the boys from Atlantic done a freaking awesome job all weekend. Crank House, Galvanized Insurance, the boys,
Of course, if it stands, you'll be in the FR Championship next year.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting. New car. Yeah, go race with James, our teammate, so it should be good.
All right. Well done, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
Daniel Quimby, your new champion, elect at least. Let's find our winner in the Ligier JS F4 Championship. Are we talking to the winner or to the champion? Yes.
So JS F4 winner.
Yes, gotcha. Okay, sorry. Got it. I'm still.
We just got to make sure that we get to the right people first. Okay. We want the JS F4 winner first, and John trying to do his job, trying to get out there.
Sasha, let's get a word if we can. The drive of the season so far, in my opinion, last to first, my friend. How did you do it?
Yeah. I just got a really good package of the team. I got the speed and overtaked everyone and P1. I'm so happy.
Fantastic. Of course, you had a little help, but nonetheless, a fantastic drive. Anybody to thank?
My team, Cor, my coach, my mom, my family, everyone who supported me. Thank you very much, everyone.
Great way to finish the season. We hope to see you next year.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sasha Van Pod Bosch, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, John. Yeah, well done to him. And, if New Zealand is producing great drivers, how about the Netherlands? I mean, it's what an era for, I mean, I used to remember Jan Lammers back in the day, back in Formula One coming through, and that was then Jos the Boss in Jos Verstappen, now Max, and now we've got Van Hoppen, this young man Bosch, and so many, and it's Richard Verschoor. I mean, I could go on and on. There's so many single-seater youngsters now making their way, and here's the next one, straight from the Netherlands. So a little country punching above their weight as ever. So have you got anything planned a winter, or are you just going to sleep, hibernate? So Patrick Woods-Toth alongside me. And I was just saying, Patrick, what do you do in the winter? Hibernate?
Yeah, maybe do a couple winter sports, but yeah, pretty boring now.
What are your other sports? What do you do?
I like skiing. I haven't been able to go in a while, trying to stay safe, but
yeah.
One of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I love skiing, but I'm at the slower end of it. Well, listen, as things calm down, let's take a look at some of the highlights of what was an interesting and intriguing final race of the season. No question about it. So here they come. We got underway in a split start. And the action was fast and furious and close. Alex Crosby, though, building on a lead. But unfortunately, a safety car would come out. Roberts was really giving Stati a hard time. Then some good overtaking in the JS F Series, the JS F4 Series, I should say. That was the big moment in JS F4 when Kikai Hwanio caused that incident and crashed his car out. That brought out the safety car. The restart got Crosby up and going, but then we finished under safety and a win for Alex Crosby. Still a bit muggy here at the Circuit of the Americas. We are expecting mid-80s by the end of the day, and usually kind of a bit like being by the coast. Tends to, here in central Texas, blow off by the end of the day. So hopefully it'll brighten up. But let's head down to John Phippen again, who's got the latest winner.
Let's get the podium celebration underway for the F4 U.S. Championship. Coming home third, his 9th podium on the season, Connor Roberts, ladies and gentlemen. Connor, I don't know if you're aware of it, but you had something to say about the championship at least.
Yeah, I did. I had it a little bit planned out. You know, I've been working with Daniel loosely all year, and I knew that I had to finish 3rd or 4th to secure my place in the championship since Alex was so far out front. And so, yeah, it just kind of happened out that way, but I'm glad that we got the result we did.
Yeah, so unofficially at least, pending review, you got 3rd in the championship. Well done. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Dad, Tom, Rick, Mom, ApexSpeed.com, Team Roberts Racing, and Entropy Sellers.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Connor Roberts, ladies and gentlemen, unofficially our 3rd place championship finisher. And once again, we thank Chris Roostrom, the designer of this race car, for presenting our trophies here on the F4 podium. All right, let's move up to our 2nd place finisher. And ladies and gentlemen, unofficially, your new champion of the F4 U.S. Championship, Daniel Quimby. Daniel, we talked briefly on the TV interview. You knew what you needed to do, and you got it done.
Yeah, Crosby was so quick that race. Connor was really quick. We struggled a little bit with tyre there, but yeah, team's done a really good job. I'd like to thank Moto Republic, Cruise America, MIR Race Line, Galvanize, everyone in the team. Mum, all my family's come over from Australia, so it's a long flight. I'd like to thank all of you. Grandma at home, she's watching. All my aunties, I'd like to thank everyone. Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you at the banquet tonight and in that FR car next season.
Thank you.
Daniel Quimby, ladies and gentlemen, 2nd place on the road, but your new champion. Chris Roostrom, the designer of this beautiful race car, making the podium presentation. Let's take nothing away from the winner, ladies and gentlemen. his second win on the season for Alex Crosby. Alex, well done. You had it handled this weekend. You got out in front and nobody had anything for you.
Yeah, it definitely was a good race, that one. Kept my cool. Finally found the speed I needed for this weekend. But yeah, great to finally get the win for the last race of the series.
Well done. Anybody you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank Golden Homes and the Southern Lakes and my parents for everything they've done.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Top step of the podium for Alex Crosby for the second time this season. Great to see 3 different teams on the podium as well. Alex with Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport, Daniel with the Atlantic Racing Team, and Team Roberts Racing for Connor. Ligier hats go on to our drivers, Chris Roostrom, as we acknowledge the designer of this race car, Mo Murray and his entire crew at Ligier. What great support they give us for all 3 championships. And just looking forward going from strength to strength for the 2025 season. Hankook Tires now on the podium for our drivers. One more round of photos. Gavin Baker, our official photographer, getting these snaps. And now it's time for the celebration. So let's have one more big round of applause for Connor Roberts from Team Roberts Racing, Daniel Quimby from the Atlantic Racing Team, and Alex Crosby from Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport. All right, we've got one more award to give here, and that is the Homologato Perfectly Timed Move of the Race. This is an award that is voted on by the stewards of the meeting, the guys up in race control, for the driver who's done the best job over the course of the weekend. And that award of a custom Homologato timepiece is awarded to Alex Popov, ladies and gentlemen. Alex, I'm sorry you weren't able to sweep the weekend, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, with what we came in with, it's just really good. Even to go P1 and P1 and then P4, sadly, it's just still incredible. I mean, we didn't know we were going to be here around 2 weeks ago. So the fact that we're just here was already a great achievement. And thank you to everyone who made this happen, just all the guys at MOT, everyone that was involved in the organization to get my license expedited as well. Just thank you for everything.
Congratulations. We hope to see you next year.
Thank you.
Alex Popov, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Homologato Perfectly Timed Move of the Race. All right, we'll reset and we'll do our podium for the Ligier JS F4 Championship. Let's bring up our 3rd place finisher. He's already been crowned champion, Teddy Musella, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so it isn't a sweep of the weekend, but hey, you did the job yesterday, my friend.
Yeah, I saw that. I knew K-Guard was going to be aggressive, so I knew I had to defend early if I wanted a chance at the victory because he had such good pace. So defending, and then he got by me, him and Leo, and then they got an incident, and then from there on it was just P3, and it was a good job for my teammate. Last to first, great drive from him.
Anybody to thank?
I would like to thank my mechanic Borda, everyone at Scooter Will, Artie, my coach, my father, my family, and all the sponsors to get me here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
3rd place finish, but your new champion, Teddy Musella from Scuderia Buell. Let's bring up our 2nd place finisher. He's raced with us all season. His best finish of the year for Drew Such. Come on, Drew. Dude, you saved the best for last. A podium yesterday and 2nd today.
Yeah, it's just incredible. We've been fighting for this podium all season, and it's just awesome to finally get it done. Obviously, I have to thank my incredible family, my incredible team behind me as well, and my sponsors, Team Concept Print, Trend North, and Zims Productions.
I don't think I've seen a bigger smile on a driver's face in a lot of time. Congratulations, Drew.
Thank you.
We'll see you at the banquet tonight. Drew Such for Such Racing, taking his best finish on the season, his 2nd podium of the weekend. All right, this youngster came to race with us here this weekend for the first time. He suffered a penalty, not his fault. There was a technical infraction with the car, so he had to start at the back. He started very last. Guess who won this race? Sasha Van Pod Bosch. We talked briefly on the TV interview. How did you do it?
Yeah, I just have a really good car. I had the speed and overtake everyone. Yeah, I don't have any words.
Fantastic. You've shown you've had pace all weekend long. You started on the pole in one race, setting the fast lap. You got to be pleased with the way this first weekend has gone.
I'm so happy. Yeah, I thanks the team a lot, my sponsors, my family, my mom, everyone, my mechanic. Thanks everyone.
We hope to see you next year.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Sasha Van Pod Bosch, your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Radford Racing School hats on our drivers as they take the first round of photos. Radford Racing School, sponsor of our Carts to Cars scholarship. It'll be happening in December, and we'll have a new batch of racers to join us. Again, Mountoon, our power plant supplier. But let's have a little bit of applause for these guys who have made it happen. Finishing third, your new champion, Teddy Musella. His best finish of the year for Drew Such. And Sasha Van
Well, we'll let
Bosch
them celebrate
is your
what
winner.
fun that has been. And you can see, I think the celebrations will go long into the afternoon for these guys because they can finally react. FR still to come. So don't forget that is still to come. But while the champagne flows and things are getting hot here, I've never seen so much champagne, or at least fizzy apple juice at this time in the morning. But we'll take a short break here from COTA and we'll wrap it up after this.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.